Today's episode is one of my favorite types of episodes to ever record because this is when we take the fans' requests. Things like, how do you handle borrowers with bad credit? Is a mortgage broker better than a mortgage banker? What's it like working at lower? Tune in, find out, have fun, learn, laugh, and be entertained. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children 18 plus, you are tuned in to the Loan Officer Podcast with me, Dustin Owen, and my main man,
JC
John Coleman.
Yo, what is popping?
You know what's popping, man. It is almost fall.
Thank God.
The boys of fall football season. I already had my first fantasy football draft. I have my second one next week.
Losers, you and your fantasy football.
You know what? Loser with a capital L. You know how fun it is, though? I've been playing for the past few years in a league that is all of my high school buddies. Well, not all of my high school buddies.
Sounds like y'all need to move on.
It's a group of high school buddies that all get together. No, we see each other once a year. We see each other once a year, and it's at the draft. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the year is usually talking shit or wishing people happy birthday within our WhatsApp
you
group
got
chat.
like group chats.
Yeah.
You know what? Real talk. I am not, and nor have I ever been part of a group chat, so I don't know what that feels like.
I wasn't much of a group chat person, but when we went out to Munich, Germany for Oktoberfest for my 40th birthday, we took our guy Dennis Miller with us.
Shout out Dennis.
And Dennis is a little bit of a tech nerd.
Yeah.
And Dennis is like, oh, we all should get on a WhatsApp group chat because we can use this when we're traveling internationally because we flew from the U.S. to Germany. Then we took a train from Germany over to Prague, and we were able to communicate on that WhatsApp. But that's not what today's episode's about.
Amazing.
No, these are my favorite. Like you and I back in the day. You remember this? We used to do potpourri.
Yeah, potpourri.
Potpourri. Potpourri was like anything goes.
Yeah.
And we've done 5 questions. We'll do, listener requests. And this literally started. Jacqueline Suclos, right?
Shout out Jacqueline.
Yep, Jacqueline's our marketing intern. She just graduated from UCF. She does a lot of our social media behind the scenes. And Jacqueline's like, hey, y'all. Well, she didn't say y'all. I say y'all.
Yeah.
But I would say, hey, y'all, we should do this. And this was, let's do a story where we literally caption it with like, ask Dio anything. And voila, we got like a dozen questions. And you and I hand selected like 5 or 6 of them that we're going to cover today.
Shout out to the people who comment on the internet.
Yeah, shout out to
trolls
those people.
Included.
And I love doing this because for those that don't know, we have this thing called a MLO coaching community, right? It's business coaching and sales training for mortgage loan originators. All the details are at tloponline.com. Check us out. It's pretty damn good. But every month I'm coaching. Like I have 5 faculty members, they're coaching, and then I'm also coaching 2 or 3 times a month. And one of my favorite times of the month is when I do what's called office hours, because office hours comes with no agenda, and we just get to sit back and riff and role play and talk about the market, talk about the industry, talk about sales tactics that work, all based on those that tuned in that day, those members who called in, joined the call, and what questions they have to ask. That's one of my favorite ways to do coaching. I get to do it only once a month, but we get to do that today. So super excited.
Yeah.
Before we get started,
oh
my gosh, John, I just want to give a shout out.
Go ahead, man.
Okay. The New England Mortgage Bankers
Conference.
Conference.
Shout out New England. Is it in Massachusetts?
It's actually in Portsmouth,
Doesn't
New Hampshire.
Count. New Hampshire?
Yeah, but I'm going to fly into Boston on September 11th. The event is the 11th, 12th, and 13th. I'm flying home from Boston on the 13th, but I'm super stoked to be a part of this event. So if you are in and around the New England area, this is a pretty badass event. I've already seen there's like 400 or 500 people already RSVP'd to be there. Come hang out. Come network with fellow mortgage professionals. Learn a thing or two and make some great connections. Come join us at the New England Mortgage Bankers Conference in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Oh my God!
Okay,
you had me saying New Hampshire.
That's what we call it if you're from Massachusetts and people from New Hampshire.
Okay, well, New Hampshire. Come hang out with us. It's going to be.
Have you met anybody from like, oh, I'm from New Hampshire?
Yes.
Get the
Ray.
Stop.
Keely.
Stop.
Carol.
I've never met.
Should I keep going? There's three.
The names sound appropriate.
There's three.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh man. Well,
right.
you want? I'm going to start with the first
Go
question.
ahead, man.
You
Go
wanna
ahead.
do that?
Riff on number
All right.
one, bro.
All right. Riff on number one. This is in no particular order, by the way. This is from Walter. Walter's a huge T-lopper, like very active. And it says, as a 38-year-old, is there still hope for me at an older age to become a successful MLO?
I'll take this question.
You take this question,
How
John.
old? Are we talking like 45? Because it's never too late to start, Walter.
He's 38.
Oh, he's a fucking child. What are you talking about? What the fuck? He's younger than me, and I don't know what the fuck.
He's 38. And I will tell you that this industry, based on my experience, it doesn't necessarily have a like age requirement, but it definitely takes energy. And someone can be 38 or they can be 68 with all the energy in the world. And a lot of times it's not the energy that you get from age, it's the energy you gain from experience. Meaning, Walter, if you're 38 and you're just getting started, you haven't been worn down. You haven't been beat up, put away wet, and then used again. So there may be a shelf life for mortgage loan originators, and that shelf life may only run 15 or 20 years, at which point you really need to be able to build a team and delegate so that you're your own well-oiled machine and you're focused on your 20% and not trying to do it all yourself. But I don't think age has this requirement. And my answer to Walter was actually this too. Walter has to keep in mind that at 38, he has life experience. Well, as a mortgage loan originator or a mortgage broker, you need to connect with your clients. You need to be able to empathize with them. When you're 22, dude, you haven't lived life. You don't have people that are married that are your friends, people who are divorced that are your friends, people with careers that are your friends. You're just getting started. So you may have all the exuberance of youth, but you don't have real world experience. Someone like Walter has real world experience, plus he has professional experience. Look, college is great, but college doesn't teach you a whole lot, right? You get that degree so that employer will hire you. You spend the next 3 years learning about the real world. And Walter at 38 has that real world experience. And then I would throw this at Walter. John, do you know the average age of a first-time homebuyer?
32.
36.
Oh, shit.
So Walter's in that sweet spot that he's not too old for the 26 and 28-year-olds that are the those that are like overachievers and they're looking to buy now. He's right in the sweet spot of being able to empathize with first-time homebuyers, but he's not so young that retired couple who's looking to purchase their retirement home or looking to downsize, or that couple in their 50s who wants to buy that beach condo or that lake house. Right. He's not so young that those people are going to look down on him because he's just a child. So I would say 38 is a great age. I don't think it's a better age than 28. And I don't think it's a better age than 48, but 38 is a great age to get started.
Well, great answer, Dustin.
I mean, look, I've been doing this for a minute, John.
It seems like you've
been doing this for a minute. All right, here's an easy one. Shout out to Joey. How's the new career change going at Lower?
Are you going to be honest and tell the people what you told me off the camera, or are you just going to... Never.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest-ish. I'm going to be honest. No, John, I'm always honest. Y'all know that about me. I'm always honest.
Yeah.
How's it going? Here's what I love. Okay. I love the fact that you work for people, right? There's a saying, people do business with people.
They know, like, and trust.
Yeah, but people do business with people. Stop right there. Yeah. This is a company filled with great people.
It is.
I mean, it truly is a company filled with great people. Jesus. Whether that is down in Texas, whether that's all the way up in Ohio or slide over to Maryland, it's a group of great people. So for that, I love it. The real answer, the truth, check back with me in 6 months. Ooh. I mean, look, the honeymoon. I'm in the honeymoon phase. Wow. Everything's amazing in the honeymoon phase, John.
You're good, Bill Belichick.
Yes.
You are media trained.
Now, I will tell you, after 4 weeks, I'm sure as hell not looking to do anything besides triple down on my effort and get on top of the mountains and sing what it is that we're doing, what we're looking to accomplish, and how excited I am. And the past 4 weeks has made me that much more excited. Now, transition, dude, it sucks no matter where you work, what industry you're in. Like, transition's never fun. Like, I don't know who to turn to ask the right questions. shout out to Julia Brown. I got Julia in my corner. I just got off the phone with Julia, and I'm like, hey, look, because she's been with the company since like day one, 10 years with the company, and really helped build it to where it is today. And I was like, can you be my girl? Like, can you be that person that I reach out to? Because I'm like, hey, who's the VP of underwriting again? Now, she told me, and she bragged, and she said she's the best underwriter you could ever meet. You want every recruit talking to her because she's amazing. And I said, I'm going to challenge you on that because I worked with an amazing underwriter that you would want every loan officer and branch manager to talk to. Her name's Melissa Ferentz. Shout out to Melissa, who, by the way, it's funny. She's from Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah.
But she doesn't live in Columbus, Ohio. But the company that I now work for is in Columbus, Ohio.
It's in, shit. I was thinking of it. I had my fingers crossed. It's in like New
Albany.
Yeah, New Albany. And I found out that's like even more bougie than Easton.
Yes.
So I'm like, yeah, next company trip, all about it.
But I think we're going to be moving the headquarters into actual Columbus soon.
No.
Yeah.
What the?
Here's the deal, John. New Albany is getting ready to get taken over by the tech companies, and they're building these massive infrastructures that suck up all the power, and they're moving in tens of thousands of people. You won't want to be there because there's too many people, and you don't like people. Wow. So the company's going to be moving back into Columbus. But to answer Joey, yeah, things are going great.
That's
thank you for asking.
Yeah.
Things are going great. I'm sure in 6 months, I'm going to be like complaining about pipeline or, complaining about, loan files and all the normal stuff that is called work, that comes with every job. But right now it's freaking awesome. And I'm going to love the next 3 to 5 years because here's the deal. Here is the deal. We are going to be the it people.
I know. It's kind of cool being like with the cool kids before they're the cool kids.
Yes. Like we are going to be playing the best music, serving the best drinks and the best food, attracting the best people, doing some really cool, fun shit together. It's going to be work. We're going to have to build. We're going to have to go through first, second, and third iterations. We're going to have to roll out a V2 and a V3. But what excites me, and my wife tells me, Dustin, this might not excite everybody. And I'm like, yeah, those are weirdos. But what excites me is the fact that we get to not be a startup, right? Because we're already a top 25 lender based on our volume. So we're not a startup, but what we're trying to do is going to take massive amounts of growth, which is going to be exciting. It's going to be work at times, but we are going to have a say. We're going to have a voice. And having a say and having a voice is so empowering that I think even when the shitty days come, because they will, that's work. And when they do, I think they'll be less shitty because we get to actually have a voice, and we're looking to build something that is unique in terms of it's the best lender in the space, and it happens to be a top 5 lender. So thank you, Joey, for that question.
Great. That's going to make a great LinkedIn clip once I get my hands on this footage.
All right. So this is our girl, Kaylee. I love Kaylee. She is super attentive. She's going to crush it in the mortgage industry. She left education about a year and a half ago to become a lender. She's a military wife, and she coaches with the TLOP MLO coaching community. But even Kaylee could have waited until office hours, which I hosted yesterday, to ask her question. But she's so engaged that she used the IG prompt, and she was one that actually asked.
How do you spell her name? Because I'll try to throw a prompt in there.
Kaylee. Her handle is Kaylee Lens, is her handle on Instagram.
Hopefully she gets some followers out of this. You're welcome.
Yeah, all right. She's awesome, so she deserves the followers.
Yes.
All right, so she's like, is handling, tracking, helping credit repair clients, like, is that something you can answer for me?
Is helping? Say it one more time.
It's like basically she's trying to ask, how do I handle people with bad credit?
You say, thank you, now's not the right time, and then hand them off to a junior LO so they could get untie that ball of yarn.
Sounds like you've been doing this for a minute, John.
Not my first rodeo, Dustin.
It is not your first rodeo. Okay, I'm going to take a deep breath. I'm going to back myself back. I'm going to maybe get behind the pendulum a little bit and try not to be mean.
Everyone deserves our help, Dustin.
Everyone does, John.
That's not how much time you can dedicate to that person. That's going to be a learning experience for you. Now, Kaylee, I'm not going to go out there and tell you to shun everybody with a 220 credit score if they even go that low.
I think you get a 220 just for having a first and last name. It's like the SAT.
But, I'll let you hand it off, Dustin.
Yeah, so here's the deal, y'all. And it's very hard. If you're less than 2 years experienced, look, at the end of the day, you're going to get tested and tried by potential referral partners and the industry with the hard to qualify. So a lot of the first bites you get aren't necessarily the fish that you want to catch, and they probably aren't even the ponds you want to go fishing in. that's just life. Like, own it, embrace it, but then try to learn from it. One of my first managers, his name is Rob Mitchum, and Rob taught me the best 4-letter word in sales is next, N-E-X-T. We have to be able to say next. And before I get into answering this question, I want to maybe reframe your mindset when it comes towards people that have bad credit. Okay. When you go out of your way to help someone who can't help themselves, you're actually doing a massive disservice to all of those people out there who can help themselves. Okay, this is not pro bono work. This is not a not-for-profit, and you're not a credit counselor. You're a mortgage originator, a mortgage broker, a loan officer. That's what you do for a living. And you can't be like, oh, I feel bad for this person. Let me spend hours and hours coaching them and teaching them on how to fix their credit, because those 3 hours, those are 3 hours that you're not talking to those newlyweds who have 10 grand saved, who have a 680 credit score and could use your services right now, but you're not talking to them because you're talking to someone who needs more help than what you can really give. For those 3 hours you're spending with that person who has bad credit, you're not out there marketing and networking with 3 realtors who, if they knew that you existed and how you could help them in their business, you could help each of them close 1 extra transaction a year, which would put an extra 8 grand into their income, which is an extra 8 grand into their household for bill pay. So you're being rude to those 3 realtors. You're being rude to that first-time home buyer who can help themselves. So never feel like you're taking something away from this person with bad credit when you can't spend 3 hours with them. Keep in mind of the 4 or 5 people that you're ignoring that have put themselves in a situation where your service and your experience can actually bring them value. Now, to your point, John, everyone deserves to be treated with respect, and everyone deserves a little bit of us because we are the experts. But if you can't help yourself because you haven't figured out how to pay your bills on time, I mean, that's pretty easy. That's like, teaching a kid not to be rude. Okay, it's pretty, it's black and white. It's yes or no. You either pay your bills on time or you don't, right? You're either rude or you're not rude. So everyone deserves our time, but some people it's 3 minutes. It's 3 minutes. Hey, ma'am or sir, unfortunately at this time, your credit score is below where it needs to be. What I would tell you to do, and then give them the 3 steps. I'd tell you to put together a game plan that's going to allow you to go ahead and save at least $5,000, but preferably $10,000, because once your credit is where it needs to be, that's what you're going to need at a minimum to purchase a home. Mm-hmm. In the meantime, you really want to have a credit score at least 660 to 680, but we can start playing ball with 580s and 620s. But please know, the lower your credit, the harder it is to qualify. The lower your credit, the higher your interest rate. I'm going to put you in contact with a local company that I feel like could do a good job of offering you some counseling, as well as could work with you on putting together a strategy to get whatever it is paid off that you need to get paid off, and to make sure that you stop making payments late. That could be a 3-minute conversation. It could be an email that you've already written once. It's already preloaded, whether it's in Pipedrive, it's in your CRM, or for me, I kept it in Outlook as an email signature called Bad Credit. So when I wanted to email John Coleman, thanks but no thanks, I just went jc@tloponline.com. I clicked the email signature that said Bad Credit. It auto-populated 3 paragraphs. I attached the 3 attachments. I proofread it. I made sure that I, made it personalized towards John and his situation, and I clicked send. That's what I do with people that have bad credit. Now, there's some people, by the way, the number 2 in 15. For every 15 people that we as originators speak to that have bad credit, 2 of them can be saved. 2. So of the 2 in 15, it's typically this. Man, John, you have a 565 credit score. I don't know why. And I found out, well, you have these 2 collections. If you just got them paid off, you have these 3 credit cards that are all maxed out. If you pay down these credit cards, pay off those collections, I could probably get your score up by 100 points. And I use my credit simulator to try to get there. And I realized that John Coleman has a good job. His wife has a good job. Their income is provable. John has money in his 401k, plus he has a few grand in his savings account. John has the means to actually do what needs to get done He's making the income. He has the job security. Home ownership makes all the sense in the world for him. John deserves more than 3 minutes. John deserves 30 minutes because I think I can get John home buyer ready within the next 60, 90 days. That's way different than usually those 13 out of 15. Here's what I found in my career, 20 years experience talking. The 13 out of 15 that don't fit, it's because it's behavioral. It's habits. They don't have the right habits or the right behavior. They deserve 3 minutes of my time. They deserve that well-crafted email. They deserve to be pointed in the right direction. They deserve to be trained and taught how, but I'm not, and you're not, by the way. You're not going to be going to their house and making their payments for them. You're not going to be out there making sure that they don't go to dinner on Friday night, or when they do go to dinner on Friday night, that they're not buying the appetizer, that they're not buying a bunch of drinks at the bar, because that's what they would have to do to live a financially responsible life, right? It's not you and I is going to keep them from buying yet another iPhone, although the phone they have works perfect, but they need the latest and greatest. It's not you and I is going to prevent them from booking that cruise, probably a Carnival cruise, by the way.
Oh, my God, you beat me to it.
Yep. Booking a cruise when it's like, yo, you haven't been able to make your car payment on time in 12 months.
Yep.
I don't think it's probably a good idea that you go and drop $4,000 to go on this cruise, but they're impulsive and they do it nonetheless.
$4,000 on a Carnival cruise?
It's a family of 6, John.
Oh, my God.
I have no idea. They bought the drink package.
That makes sense.
Here's the problem. You know what they did? They bought the drink package. Right, they bought every excursion. They bought the internet.
False.
Yeah, they did all that.
The problem was bringing
and they bought
kids.
the pictures.
And
they
the
bought
kids.
every
They
damn
brought
picture.
the kids. That was a very well thought out answer, Dustin. All right, so I have a question for you. You said the number of people was like 2 out of 15 are actually going to be able to qualify. How many like people with subprime credit did you help before you were like, all right, no more? In your early career, was it like 5? Was it like 3?
It was.
Can you remember when it's like when you were able to turn that corner? It was like, all right, no more.
Pretty early on.
Really?
Pretty early on. And you got to think when I jumped in the industry in 2004, like 04, 05, 06, like even doing conventional financing. So our OGs who tune in will remember this. We used to have EA1, EA2, and EA3 were actually approvals you would get through DU. It stood for Expanded Approval 1, Expanded Approval 2, Expanded Approval 3. So it was one of those, it's like, hey, you don't qualify for just like, you know, a basic conventional 5% down, but you do have an EA1 or EA2, EA3, and the higher you went up, it had a higher interest rate and much more expensive mortgage insurance. So we could do some things back then, but this is what I learned, and this is why I got out of it. The realtors who want me doing credit repair are not the realtors I want to be working with. Period. End of story. Because they haven't figured out how to go fish in the right ponds. They haven't figured out how to bring the most value to attract the best clients. And then the clients that are coming to me that are rubbing 2 nickels together trying to make a quarter are also the same people that their friends, their family, their coworkers, and their neighbors are doing the same exact thing. It's a lifestyle, right? And it just became bad business. At the end of the day, I have 40 to 50 hours a week I'm dedicating to my clients and to my firm and to my craft. And I need to dedicate those hours where I can help the most people, I can generate the most leads, close the most loans, and make the most money. It's everything that I coach and preach still today. I learned, and most of it I did learn the hard way. So yeah, it was pretty quick that I realized that, hey, everyone deserves my time and my attention. Some people it's 3 days, some people it's 3 hours, some people it's 30 minutes, and some people it's 3 minutes. All right, you ready for this next question before we get on to the last 2 that I know everyone's just chomping at the bit? All right, so this is going to be a shout out to George Acosta. Okay, George says wholesale or retail. So when George says wholesale, that's also broker, it's also TPO. It's all one and the same. Just like whenever I'm like, oh, VP of lending, mortgage advisor, loan officer, MLO is all in the same in terms of like, whatever your title is, we all do the same shit for a living.
Yeah.
When someone says wholesale, they're telling me I'm a mortgage broker. Or if they say TPO, that means that they originate through a third-party channel, which is also wholesale, which is also mortgage brokering. Okay. My answer is consistent across the board, and I do not think I'm ever going to waver from this. I do not think brokers are better. I said it. But I don't think mortgage bankers are better. I don't think consumer direct is better. I don't think working at a credit union is better. Like, I don't buy into that one is better. Oh, brokers are better. We have access to hundreds of lenders. You know what? So does every IMB out there. Guaranteed Rate, Guild, Waterstone Mortgage, Movement Mortgage, Cross Country, Lower. I mean, every top 100 lender has access to hundreds of lenders.
We close on time.
Yeah, it's so, we have great technology. Cool. Like, yeah. So I do not believe one is better. I think depending on where you are in your career, depending on the opportunities in your market, one would be better for you than would be for John. That would be for my sister. That would be for someone in Sacramento. But ultimately, we go work for the person, right? People do business with people. Well, when you're a mortgage broker or a loan officer, you're going to go work for a branch manager or some kind of a sales leader. And you want that manager and that sales leader to be investing in you. You want them to have systems and processes that you can tie into. You want them to lead by example. You want them to coach you, train you, mentor you. You want that person to be somebody that you're like, yes, I want to be you when I grow up. That's the career I want, right? Like that to me, and you'll find that working at companies like Edge, which is a brokerage. You'll find that working at Rosegate, which is a brokerage, right? Like you could also find that in Orlando working for Empire, and that's a brokerage. Or you could find it by calling me at Lower, or calling my friends at Waterstone, or calling my friends at Movement, or calling my friends at Guild. One is not better than the other. Mm-hmm. And even when it comes to like, oh, one's better for the consumer, is it? Because I think consumers want great advice. I think consumers want an advocate. I think consumers want someone who's going to help them get their offers accepted. I think consumers want choices, right? They want a lender who's going to give them 3 options and walk them through why each option may be good or not good for them. And then I think consumers want someone who's accountable and someone who's going to deliver, right? That's what consumers want at the end of the day. They don't care whether your rate was an eighth or a quarter higher or your eighth and quarter lower. They don't care if your fees were $500 more or $500 less. There are some that do, right? There will always be those people that all they care about is the bottom line, but the bulk, they don't, right? So one is not better than the other. It is all personal preference. Like I choose IMB, the Independent Mortgage Bank, because I, as a mortgage professional, realized I love to sell and market myself, my personal brand. I love to give buyer consultations. I love to pre-qual, pre-approve, help people win offers, then app them, lock them, disclose them, fund them on time, and become their lender for life. That's what I love doing. I work for an independent mortgage bank and always have, because then I don't have to worry about IT, compliance, product development, HR, accounting, marketing, because I have departments that do all of that. And I'm a huge fan of iron sharpening iron. And, the bigger companies have some of the best producers that work for them. And if I can get into that company, I can start networking with those guys and girls. I can actually learn from them just like they can learn from me. So that's what's always worked for them. My buddy Jason Ziegler, he loves being a mortgage broker, loves it, because he loves having his hands in HR, in IT, in compliance. Like he just likes running a business. So, but at the end of the day, he doesn't make any more money or any less money, I don't imagine, than he did if he was working for an IMB. He still works the same amount of hours. He still makes the same amount of money. It's just what he does with those hours looks different. And he may be able to close less loans to make that type of money, but he's not working less hours. So I don't have a preference. If you want to go work consumer direct, like I know New American does really well with consumer direct. I think Veterans United does pretty decently with consumer direct. I know Lower has a really strong consumer direct division, right? And that's not a bad way to get started. You'll work for a servicer and they're consumer direct. You won't make as much per loan, but you'll do a ton of loans and you'll get a ton of at-bats and you'll gain a ton of experience and you'll make good income. Mm-hmm. And then from there, you can either stay there for 20 years and work your way up, or you can use that to gain the experience, the knowledge, and the confidence that you need to go out and build your own book of business. but I do not think one is better than the other. So when I'm answering that listener's questions, I don't have when you say broker or banker, I'm going to tell you go find a leader. Go find a leader. Go find a local branch that you can tie into, learn from, be a part of their systems and processes, be ingrained in their culture, be coached, be taught, and be trained.
Damn, Dustin.
And I've said that one maybe once or twice as well, John.
We should get you on a podcast to teach the next generation of mortgage loan originators how to navigate the industry.
That's a good idea. Maybe even a YouTube channel. Maybe start writing a newsletter. Start doing some loan officer coaching and training. Wouldn't that be awesome, John, if we did that?
Hey, that's a great way to promo it. I like that. That's a great, you don't even need to do that. That's good.
tloponline.com. Go there,
that's good.
Sign up for the newsletter, go to YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and more specifically, y'all, most of us, we need business coaching and sales training. Check out what we're doing over at TLOP. All right, last 3 questions, and they're going to be quick hits. Okay, the first one is, I won't use this guy's name because he might not appreciate that the way everyone else did.
Oh,
but
shit.
He knows who he is.
Hold on, is this about to be serious?
No.
All right, cool. Okay. I was just preparing myself.
It's just trying to confidential.
All right.
His question was, how do I find out more information about joining Lower?
Ooh.
Because I'm excited because you're excited, right? They see how excited I am. Now they're excited. And yeah, I'd be pretty simple. First name is Dustin. Last name is Owen. Make sure we're connected on LinkedIn and fire me a message. I'm on LinkedIn every single day, 7 days a week. So that's a great way to get a hold of me. If I'm not the right person for you to talk to, I will get you in contact with the right person. Even if I have to call Julia Brown and ask Julia Brown who the right person is, I'll get you in front of that. I've already done it for a guy in Houston, done it for someone in Ohio, done it for someone up in Washington. So, I'd be more than happy to do that. And if it's something that works into my wheelhouse, I'll have that conversation with you. More importantly, this is my promise to everybody. I'm going to guess that 1 in 7 we're not a good fit for whatever reason. 1 in 7 inquiries, Lower is not a good fit for you. Staying at your current company is probably a good fit, right? Or going to work at a lender that has a branch already in operation in your market is a good fit, right? So maybe I'll tell you being a mortgage broker is a good fit. Working in a call center is a great fit. So just know that's my promise to all people, and something that I can go ahead and tease right now that I'm working on behind the scenes. If you remember Aaron Hahn, Aaron was a guest on the show. He's one of my favorite mortgage recruiters. When I was going through my free agency, I reached out to 3 people. I reached out to Brian View with FinLocker.
Shout out Brian View.
I reached out to Eric Levin with Model Match.
Shout out Eric Levin.
And I reached out to Aaron Hahn.
Shout out Aaron
and I said, hey guys, confidentially speaking, I'm going to start testing free agency. Who should I be talking to? Okay, that's how I did things. By the way, I did not choose an employer based on one of their 3 recommendations, but I talked to multiple employers that each of them put me in front of. And Aaron and I, because Aaron's a professional career counselor, i.e. talent acquisition specialist, i.e. recruiter. And Aaron's like, hey, Dio, I love what you're doing, TLOP. He had a great experience being a guest on the show. He's like, with all these men and women out there that don't have a place to turn for career advice, he's like, what if we started offering that? Like, what if you could talk about it on the show? And instead of you doing it like, I've always done it, right? We've always had some kind of a career corner type environment type feel, but we didn't really put ourselves out there. Well, behind the scenes, Aaron's working with a great technologist that he used to work with in a prior life. And Aaron's building out a team for us that we are going to be able to take some inbound calls, answering some questions, make that same promise to you that, look, at the end of the day, if it's a great for you to stay at your current employer, we'll help you do that. And if it's worth you talking to someone else, what Aaron's going to do with my help behind the scenes and Mark's help is we're going to build out probably 7 to 9 approved clients. Clients would be mortgage companies or banks or credit unions or consumer direct channels that they have signed off on the TLOP standards and they're TLOP approved. And for anyone interested in entertaining their own free agency, we're going to offer a service to y'all pro bono, because at the end of the day, if you end up onboarding, then one of our clients will end up paying us a recruiting fee for making that introduction, right? That's how recruiting works. Aaron's going to head it up, but we're going to use this platform to do what I've already been doing, but maybe on a much grander scale. So stay tuned for that. I'm sure you'll see it in the newsletter, and I'm sure it'll be posted on TLOP Online once we're ready. But in the interim, y'all keep on doing what you've been doing throughout the years and reach out. I mean, I've placed people with my buddies at Mid-Penn. I've placed people with Ruoff, with Movement, with Guild, with Waterstone. Like, I will get you in contact with the right people in the right market. And if I don't have a person in that market, I will help you do a Google search and at least narrow down where your conversation should be had. And there's been more occasions than not. I literally said, it sounds like you're at a great company. Sounds like you need to have this type of conversation with your manager. It needs to go this particular way. But leaving is not the answer, right? And a lot of times it's not, right? It's like water the grass that you have. Don't go chasing new grass, whatever that stupid saying is that I just butchered. But just know we'll give you that type of advice.
Wow, Dustin.
That's probably more. All right, John, last two. I want you to go first and I'll go second.
What's it like working with John Coleman? Go.
No, what's it like working with me?
Oh, yeah.
Why don't you tell the people, what is it like working with me? We're 5 years into this now.
I think they know. What the fuck? I think they know. They got ears and eyes. What the fuck? They know.
Am I always this way?
Yes.
Always.
Except at the craps table. Then it gets worse.
What happens at the craps table?
Cussing, anger, horn hi-yos, multiple trips to the ATM. I'm a bastard. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm a degenerate. And then you'll hit snake eyes and be like, I love this game.
Would you describe me as a competitor?
People have to just understand that. So it doesn't, like, is it really like that? And be like, yes. All the time? Yes. Just like people say, is JC like that? Yes. Is he always hot? Yes.
I will tell people, I think that's what makes this show so special, is that you are what people see and hear.
You don't see these missing panels on the wall? That's as real as the shit gets.
And I am exactly who I am.
Yeah.
And you know, I don't hide from it. I mean, I'm a high energy person. I have one speed, and that's go. Literally, it's go. And the guy who asked me how are things going at Lower, and you kind of made that little side comment.
Yeah.
Like, if anything, if I could make like, oh man, my first 4 weeks, I don't know if they truly knew what they were getting. I don't think they knew exactly how hard I run, how detailed I am, how thorough I am, and in a positive way.
Oh yeah, it's all good.
In a positive way, I think there's been people, especially on the executive team, that had to take a step back and like, damn, okay, he really wasn't just bullshitting us in that interview. Like, this is what he does. And yeah, this is what I do. This is who I am. It's a lot. I get it. I'm a lot to be around. I understand that. And sometimes I run people over. I promise you, if I ran you over, I'll apologize. I'll pick you up. I'll give you a hug. I will never promise to not do it again. I'll just tell you, I'll try to be more mindful going forward because I don't want to slow down. I don't want to be any different than I am. I do need to be liked, and I do want to be a good person at the end of the day. And although I love making money, I have recognized it's not about the money. It's about the people, and it's how you leave those people. And that's what's probably most important to me. But I'm going to answer the question. Is John Coleman, what's it like working with John Coleman? Frustrating as hell.
Yeah.
It is frustrating as hell because this is not a front. This is not him acting a certain way because it works well for the show. No, he is this way, which is why the show works so well. But when John says he is Peter Pan, he means he is Peter Pan. Like, he is a child who doesn't want to grow up. He is talented. Don't get me wrong. He's a freaking artist. And if you've ever been around an artist, that's frustrating for a business owner. Because artists don't mind being dead ass broke and starving. What they care about is being true to their work. Well, when you're trying to run a business, there's certain stuff that you need to do because it works. And John will tell me that's cuck shit. And when it's cuck shit, he will nod and smile and tell me he's going to do it. But I've learned it won't get done. It literally will not get done. And it is a constant tug and pull that goes on between him, the artist, and me, the businessman, that I think definitely works. But no, he is who he is, which kind,
not to strangers,
caring, caring. He just hides from that. That's his front because he doesn't want to get his feelings hurt, but he does care.
Well, I am an emotional cripple. I get that from my dad. Most men are.
Do you get that because of your dad or from your dad?
From both, all. What you mean? Yeah, all the above.
Yeah, but no, but what you see on camera and who you meet in person is so funny. Like we'll travel for the show now, and people are like, "Oh, I thought JC would be out partying." I go, "What part of JC partying with others do you see happening?" JC may be partying.
Yes, I do party.
Yeah, usually at some bougie ass bar.
You can't get in
with no one else that he knows around him.
I call it gen pop. I don't mingle with general population. I just don't. I can't do it. Can't be bothered.
Yeah,
but I love all the T-Lop viewers.
He does. He actually does. That is one thing I can say is when we do travel, he appreciates when you come up to him. Just don't be like, "Oh, you're so much taller in person," because that's kind of gotten old.
It has. But no, I am thoroughly excited to see where this goes next because I think we actually might be onto something, Dustin.
I think we are. And I'm pretty excited about this partnership we're getting to start with Mike over at Spiral Monkey, getting Stephen Barnett dialed in. We already have Kevin Humphrey doing his thing. Nikki's, back and getting dialed in. Mark's better than ever.
Gosh.
You and I are over at Lower. Like this, like, hell yeah, let's go.
Just like we planned
Let's go. Yeah, just like we planned it. All right, John, let's find a way to wrap this up. Hey, New England, looking forward to coming out and seeing you in.
It's not New England. It's
what
New
is it?
Hampshire.
Well, but it's the New England Mortgage Bankers Association.
New England Patriots. Where do they play? Do they play in all?
They play in Masshole. Is that what it's called? Masshole and New Hampshire? Am I getting this right? What is Connecticut called?
I don't know. Connecticut. I don't know.
Okay,
we'll figure that out.
Yeah, we can put that "see you next Tuesday" word in there, but that would be rude.
Yeah.
So we won't do that. But no, the New England Mortgage Bankers Conference. I'm looking forward to being out there September 11th through the 13th. Check the TLOP website. I'm gonna get Mark Holmes to put the registration link on the website. So if you're in and around the area, you want to come join this conference, be a part of it, network with us, with me, and hang out. Feel free and do so. I'm doing the same exact similar conference with Arkansas, Mortgage Bankers of Arkansas.
Shout out Arkansas.
First week of October. That's going to be up on the TLOP website soon. Check that out. And if you're in and around Columbus, Ohio, I am going to be sliding up there for a private event with the Lower crew.
Is that?
I think that's like the third week in October.
I think that's the all hands. I think I might be up there too.
Oh, wow. And they're inviting JC. So you never know if you're in and around Columbus and you want to come hang out with me and JC, just hit us up on Instagram. But he's John Coleman. I'm Dustin Owen. That is all the time we have for you today. But we do look forward to catching you on the next episode. Peace.